Yeah, it's been terrifying, honestly. Just because it's like, oh yes, this is what I want to do. And whenever you decide to do something new from scratch, like as an adult,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Like you are faced with uh you're faced with like tough decisions and also sacrifices. Like things have to you have to let things go in order to allow this to be at least a big part of your life.
And action!
Hello and welcome to another CineMAINEia Maine Attractions, where I talk with the folks in Maine's film and TV industry. This week we have fantastic guest, actress Isabella Espenilla. Isabella, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
So we're right in the middle of the spooky season. So I wanted to find out how you felt about horror movies and the like.
Oh my gosh, I have been testing myself with watching horror, like more and more horror films, because
Yeah.
I typically do not watch them, but because I get nightmares for weeks. I
Oh
don't know
yeah.
what's happening in my psyche, but I have been starting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's new? What did you watch new this year?
New this year. So, gosh, does Wednesday count?
Sure.
Does Wednesday count?
uh,
Um, this season two came out
yeah.
this year, so I've been watching that. I rewatched this film that gave me terrors when I was 14, like Oculus. Do you know
Okay.
Oculus?
No, I haven't seen that.
Oh my gosh, it's this horror it's this it's this film where this mirror like causes you to go insane and then like they end up killing each other.
Yeah.
And it's such a tragedy. It's so sad. But I couldn't sleep for weeks. So I rewatched that this year
Yeah.
and I am doing better. I
That's
did better
good.
with it this time now that it's been a decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the first Friday the 13th for the first time. So that's my new one this year.
Oh my gosh. I need to watch that one because I know that it's a huge reference and I just don't know it.
Right. It's not
Yeah.
too bad. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's some blood and gore, but it's really
Hmm.
in the pantheon. I think is not that bad. It's not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Kevin Bacon's in it, which I didn't realize. Um,
Yeah. He's
but
so good.
do you have any regulars? Like, do you have any light like Hocus Pocus or any regular spooky?
Regular spooky, I would say Halloween Town.
Yeah,
Like those are the ones of my childhood. Hocus Pocus,
yeah,
Hocus Pocus 2. Um, I I actually watched Beetlejuice.
yeah.
And I watched Beetlejuice for the first time this
Oh,
year.
nice. Yeah,
And very light.
right. Yeah, that's a good entry. Yeah,
Good intro into that world. So that
oh
was a first for me this year. And I've had actually I watched Beetlejuice like four times now. I don't know.
yeah,
It's really good. Um, yeah, those are like on
yeah,
rotation, and I kind of just always have Sabrina the Teenage Witch
yeah.
and the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina just in the background constantly. Oh, I also
Nice.
started Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think you kind of get like the vibe of the type of TV shows and
Right.
movies I like to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I haven't seen any Buffy,
Oh
uh,
my gosh.
but
I get it
we,
now. I get it now. It's
yeah,
so good.
yeah. No, and I'm a big fan of Michelle Trachtenberg, who's I know in Buffy. I don't know exactly the extent of her role, but
Mhm.
so I'm sure I'll be interested. But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Uh, did you come from like an arts or perform or artistic family, or are you kind of the outlier in that respect?
I am definitely an outlier. Yes. Like my family was all math
Yeah.
people. They're all math people, science. Like my mom is a computer programmer, a software programmer,
Oh yeah.
software engineer, and so is my dad. Uh,
Yeah.
so I I did pursue that for a little bit, like doing math, like doing
Yeah.
computer programming, but I just realized that I could not do that. Like I could, I
Yeah.
got good grades.
Sure.
I
Sure.
got good grades, but and I was actually working for in finance for a while.
Mm.
I was in management, and I realized that I couldn't go down that path.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I decided to go down the artistic path because why not? Why not?
Right.
Yeah.
Have you always uh, been an artistic kid, or what type of kid were you? Were you a theater kid, or that type of thing?
I was a wannabe theater kid. I I was really shy as a
Yeah.
kid. I didn't speak probably like of course I spoke, but I never willingly spoke up in class or in any other setting
Yeah.
until probably like 20 years old.
Yeah.
So, which is really interesting. But as a kid, because I didn't speak, my mom put me in acting classes
Oh yeah.
to like help me along, and I was absorbing the information, but I did really just treat it as school, as like you would just take notes and you
Yeah.
you don't actually do the performing part. But
Right.
when I did perform, I got like such a great response.
Yeah.
So that made me want to keep doing it, even though I felt like during that time I wasn't really getting the point of what performing actually was.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
just school to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I wish when I was a kid, I wish that I could be more outgoing and more like, oh, I'm just gonna sing and I'm just gonna dance and I'm just gonna
Yeah.
perform whenever I felt like it. But I just couldn't. I think I had too much social anxiety and
Yeah.
it was really introverted as well. So it was really tough for me. Um, but I was always auditioning for the plays,
Yeah.
always taking singing classes. I wanted to be a part of a choir, so I was doing
Yeah.
that. Um, and it wasn't until um, basically college that I finally admitted to myself that I actually really liked it and I
Yeah.
wanted to pursue it. And it was just this hidden desire for my entire life,
Yeah.
basically.
Um,
Yeah.
what made you decide on Boston College? Were you going there before and then switched to theater, or?
At Boston College.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in high school,
Yeah.
I applied for a bunch of different schools and I got into a lot. I didn't get into a lot, and I just didn't have a vision at that
Yeah.
time for what I wanted. And there was a lot of pressure on a lot of sides of like, you need to go to a great school. You need to go to, yeah, and I really just couldn't care. So I actually just went to my head of school
Yeah.
and I asked her, where should I go? And she told me go to Boston College. And that
Okay.
was it.
Yeah.
That was it. So that's why I chose Boston College, but I didn't have a vision for when I went in there. I
Yeah.
changed my major a ton of times and I was like computers I took computer science classes, I took math classes, and
Yeah.
then I decided to just t double major in theater because I was like I just want to take those classes.
Yeah.
And yeah, and then I realized like, oh, yeah, this is just what I want to do. So I dropped the math major. Everyone was freaking out. And I decided to do that. I didn't
Yeah.
finish. I didn't finish, but yeah, that's what I decided to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, Mhm.
Did you at least do you feel like you felt or found like a community of like-minded people once you really settled into what you know
Yeah.
you wanted to do?
Yeah, it was really interesting. I At that time it was still even hard for me to accept that that's what I wanted to do, but it was very
Yeah.
clear from my actions that it was. So I got to know the community and like very quickly I was very much accepted, and then I got into one of the winter productions like off the bat, and no one knew really who I was because I just transferred in, and then I
Right.
auditioned, and then I got into the show. It was the History of Colors.
Okay.
Um, and it was very quickly family, and it was so amazing because I always felt an outlier my entire life, and then
Yeah.
it was just a community of outliers and people who like to create weird things,
Yeah.
and it was great. It was great. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have any not embarrassing, but theater stories from that time? Something that went wrong, or some for you or another cast member that you can think of?
Oh my gosh, things that went wrong. It's funny that you say that because like I am very much like, I need to know my lines. I need to do
Yeah.
this. And it's always like the night before, the night before like performance, I
Yeah.
just you just forget all your lines.
Yeah.
And like you think that you know it, and so the night before the History of Colors like premiered, I forgot everything. And not only that, but the director walked out.
Oh wow.
So that was like kind of tough because, and I think everyone was just feeling it. It was just a tough time of year, in the middle of winter. Like the director was not there. I forgot all my lines, and it haunts me still. I still wake up from that
Oh.
time just being like, I forgot my lines. I
Oh wow. Yeah. Wow.
and it really sucks.
Okay. Well,
But
yeah. We'll
yeah,
go right past this subject.
yeah.
Um, After you left Boston College, and
Mm.
did you primarily focus on more theater, or were you really trying, to get into the film and television acting as your primary focus?
Super interesting. Like when I left Boston College, I was doing like I had to take a break because like COVID
Mm,
was like I was going to college during COVID,
okay,
and it was just really tough because like
sure.
I was paying for it all. Um, like I was solely responsible for my life there, and
Yeah,
it's like it just became so difficult with I was working full time, I was going to school full time, and I was just living my personal life full time. And
yeah,
it just became too much with the masking and the responsibilities, and like we don't know if I have a job next week. So I left, and I was doing short films for people, and
yeah.
then my life kind of just got picked up, and I found myself moving to Maine because that just became a lot of circumstances, but it was more convenient for me. It was
Yeah,
more convenient. And when I got here to Maine, I decided to like kind of leave that behind
yeah.
because, it was still like it was starting to be towards the end of the pandemic, and I still wasn't admitting to myself that this is what I wanted to do. So I just went into finance. I just started working at a bank.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, film, TV, acting, like I like that's what I want to do, but I just you know what, I'm just gonna put it at the back of my head. I don't know what to do. I need to survive. Um,
Yeah.
and I just did banking for like 2.5 years, and then I just started there with I would say maybe negative financial knowledge, and and
Yeah.
somehow I just rose to the ranks, and I just started. I began like management
Yeah. Yeah.
there, and it became very clear to me that once I started getting on salary and I started working 60-hour weeks,
Yeah.
it made me realize like, okay, like I have the capability of working 60 hours a week towards something
Yeah.
and more because that's what it requires. Do I really want to do this?
Right.
Yeah. And I remember I went into a meeting with a lot of my management above me saying that they have a vision for me, like that I have an executive track
Yeah.
that and I was like, so more workload of of this.
Yeah. No. Yep. Yeah. Other
Yeah.
people have a vision for you,
Yeah. And
and what
I didn't
the
have that vision for me.
yeah.
Even though I was capable of doing that stuff, I just realized that if I'm going to work 60 to 80 hours a week towards something,
Yeah.
I'm going to do the thing that I want to do. And I think it was the first time that I think I truly admitted to myself that this is what I wanted to do.
Sure.
So the past maybe
Yeah.
year, a year or so, like that's what I have been doing. And it's been great because in the past at Boston College, I got so much push from my acting teachers and people who worked in theater and
Yeah.
in film. They told me that I should do this, but I wasn't ready to
Yeah.
take that step. But
Yeah.
now I am. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That must feel good. I mean,
It does
it's
feel good. But
yeah.
but it's
It's
really
scary.
interesting. Sorry.
I said it's scary, but yeah. Go
Oh
ahead.
yeah. Yeah, it's been terrifying, honestly. Just because it's like, oh yes, this is what I want to do. And whenever you decide to do something new from scratch, like as an adult,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Like you are faced with uh you're faced with like tough decisions and also sacrifices. Like things have to you have to let things go in order to allow this to be at least a big part of your life.
Yeah.
Um, and so that has been really it's been rewarding, but it's also been very difficult.
Yeah.
But I realize that the sacrifices that I'm making now this year, I wouldn't have made them unless I knew that this is something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And so we talked about how other people
Mhm.
has a vision for your life. Do you feel like you have a vision now for your life?
Oh, that's so interesting that you asked me this because it's I'm formulating that vision
Yeah.
now. Yeah. Uh and it's actually a vision that I am very down on board with. And
Yeah. Good.
my my vision, I think, would consist of acting,
Yeah.
and I have been really interested in producing and
Okay.
writing as well. So I have started to like produce my own little short films that I just keep to myself.
Yeah.
And I've been writing a lot of these little scripts to practice for myself,
Yeah.
and that's been helping with the acting thing as well. But
Perfect.
yeah, like the vision is starting to it's starting to be to flower, I would say. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Um I don't know if you're interested. So before starting the podcast, I had, a similar type of thing, and
Hmm.
I read Arnold Schwarzenegger's book, uh,
Mm.
Be Useful.
Yes.
And that really did, even though it's kind of generic,
Hmm.
it did help me, kind of like say, oh, I'm imagining this thing in my head of having a podcast and talking. So I'm already halfway there, you know what I mean, of just
Yeah.
doing it. So if you haven't read that book, it's a pretty quick read, and goes into a lot of his experiences, obviously, through
Hmm.
his career. But as silly as it may seem, that book did help me with with formulating that vision.
Yeah. Yeah. I That's a book that I want to read. It has
Yeah.
been in my cart for a little bit. So
uh,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I would suggest it. Like I said, I mean, it's like 7 tips on blah blah, and so the tips themselves are maybe generic-ish, like all of
Yeah.
those types of books, but he does tie it into his own experience of coming, from Austria and
Yeah.
focusing and how it led to movies and then to politics and now to philanthropy and all that type of stuff. I mean, he is different because when he arrived in America, that's what he could do. He could focus on bodybuilding. You know what I mean? He didn't have a family. He didn't have another job. He had, support, and so it's it's a little bit hard to connect with his story sometimes because it's like, well, you had
Yeah.
the time and the resources to focus on a specific thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's still an interesting book. Um, but let's talk about the things that you have been a part of. So we met
Yeah.
as extras on a project, and I haven't heard anything about that project. But
Yeah, I
how
haven't
did
either.
um,
So we're in the same boat.
yeah, yeah. But how did you become involved in the Going to the Woods project? How did you hear about that?
That project,
Yeah.
I just saw the Facebook post.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't know. I was like, for me, I was thinking about just getting on a set that wasn't a student film set.
Yeah.
You know, someone like just like any set because I needed to
Yeah.
learn because I know a lot about how to act on a film, but
Yeah.
or sorry, on stage. I know how to act on stage and what the goings on are, but I just didn't know what it was like for a film, and I just hear that it's different from set to set. So I was really just doing anything that I
Yeah.
could. And I
Absolutely.
saw the Facebook post in the Maine community of filmmakers and things like
Okay.
that. I was like, I'm free. I can make it. I did the drive,
Yeah.
and it was really informative. It was great. I learned so much, and that day was really fun. And
Yeah.
we both met Xavier,
Yes.
um, and I was a part of his next project, and I'm gonna be a part of another one.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, so we can get into that one later.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just Facebook is a wonderful place.
Yeah. Um, well, that's a good point. So between
Mm,
Facebook and what are the means as a person really jumping into the profession and in Maine, what are the means that you're using to try and find
mhm.
jobs, get jobs, connect with people?
Um, I would say I start from the Facebook group,
Yeah,
the Maine community of filmmakers group, just because there's just so many people and it's constantly being updated.
yeah,
So almost all of the projects I have done
yeah,
in Maine have started by meeting someone through that group or by like auditioning for a project that was posted in that group.
yeah.
Um, and then through there, I have met, I would say in Maine, Backstage,
Okay,
backstage.com. There's not a ton of things being posted there, but I do see at times like Portland,
yeah,
like, oh, like looking for Maine-based actors. And then you also see it in the Maine community group.
yeah,
So that I would say in Maine, those were the main two that I was seeing.
yeah.
And then of course, I was auditioning for a lot of things through uh, Backstage and Actors Access that were more New England.
Okay,
Yeah.
very nice. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I guess we can talk about, since you mentioned Xavier, and we had I talked to him as well, and he was
Hmm.
just he had wrapped well, he'd even wrapped the project when you and I met, but
Yeah.
um, he had wrapped I can't remember the
Feel
name of
Good
it.
Hotline.
Yes, yes, yep.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and then I had asked him about what his next project was, and I think that's obviously the one that you were on. So
Yeah.
um, I don't, and it's not out yet, like you had mentioned, I think.
Yeah.
Uh, so I
Yeah.
don't know how much we can get into it, but how, was it just literally that connection on on Malt's production, the one where we met, that just led you to working with
Yeah.
Xavier? Yep.
Yeah, we met on that production, and then I met like his family as well.
Right. Yeah.
And then we all connected through Instagram, and he said, "Since you're really local, like I will hit you up." And I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay, sounds good." And he hit me up multiple times for yeah, he finished Feel Good Hotline, so I was not a part of that, but he has his next project, Death of a Tiny Hat Man,
Yeah.
premiering November 22nd at the
Okay.
Evening Star Cinema at 7 p.m. Just plugging that in right there.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, he already cast it, but he needed like a demon. So
Okay.
I was the demon. I was the demon. It was so much fun. We went to this haunted library, and it felt a little
Yeah.
weird. I'll say that. So that was really fun.
Yeah.
Um, and we're actually starting production for something new that I will be a part of. Can't
Nice.
say anything, but
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh
Tomorrow.
wow.
So that's it's really fun. So it has led to a lot of fun things.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you've pulled any skills or anything that you learned on that Tiny Hat Man that you'll pull into future, your future gigs?
Yeah, I learned like on the malt set
Yeah.
what I needed to do to be prepared.
Yeah.
Uh Even though to be on that set, like we weren't really given that much, but
Yeah.
I on that set I learned what I needed to do to like be prepared for like the next set.
Mm.
And I did those things, and it was like some things as simple as like have like extra clothing.
Yeah.
You know, have like extra water and food.
Yeah.
Um and then like certain things like have this prepared in your car, things like that.
Sure.
So there was like certain preparation skills that I didn't really know that I needed, but I just used for the next set. And so for Death of a Tiny Hat Man, I would say I was like pretty prepared.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess the one thing that I definitely learned on that set was like I need how to be useful when they're setting up the lighting
Oh,
and
yeah.
the cameras. Like there's just a way to interact with
I got you.
the crew.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to learn like what this all means. So I've been doing a lot of studying on like what everything means.
Yeah.
And um and that was actually really useful because I had to learn that same lesson with Millennium's Eve as well. I was on that set as well, and I would say they had a lot of crew,
Yeah.
and figuring out how to interact with everybody and who is responsible for what is really important. And
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah. I talked to Ryan and
Mhm.
Corwin before they had started filming that project as well. So
Yeah.
it's been interesting to follow that, on their Instagram and things like that. And as
Yeah.
I can't remember, is that out for people to check out? Do you know?
It is not out yet.
Not yet.
They finished, I don't know, I don't want to say anything. They wrapped
Yeah. Okay.
filming.
No, that's fine. Yep. I
Yeah, and
could.
I
I
know they're in
hadn't.
post now.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I hadn't seen anything, but um, very cool. Yeah, well, that'll be exciting to have
Yeah.
things out that people will be able to check out. That's
Yeah.
very cool. Um, excuse me. Before we kind of wrap up, I
Yeah.
you have another skill that I've not been able to talk to other people about, and that's the aerial skills with
Skills?
the upside down hammock
Yeah.
and whatnot, and so I just wanted to find out how you got into that and all that.
Yeah. I would say the first thing that, well, how I got into aerial silks was I was a kid and I saw Cirque du Soleil came to North Carolina, which is where
Yeah,
I'm from.
yeah,
And I remember seeing it. I saw Verikai, specifically the show, and I remember I was 4 years old and I saw them like dangling from the sky, and there was this one lady like on the silks, and I was like, I have to do that. I
yeah,
have to do that. And I know, uh, and I just wasn't able to find any of those type of classes
yeah.
anywhere until recently. Um, my teacher, her name is Michaela, MJ. She works at PNF, and she's gonna soon be opening her own gym.
Okay,
Where that's where she will be teaching a lot of the aerial arts in general.
yeah,
But I just saw that she was, well, I do jujitsu, and then she
okay,
became a part of the jujitsu gym, and I saw that she taught that, and I realized that this is perfect. This is
yeah.
perfect. So I've been doing that for, a, yeah, like a year and a half now, and it's been great. Yeah. So it's like my this childhood dream of at four
Yeah.
years old of like being able to do those things has finally manifested after 2 decades.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. We have the you have the new Xavier project. Is there anything else coming up that you're kind of looking forward to, or anything you can mention?
Y- I well, I have the new Xavier project that will be coming up, but I also have another project that will start production next week.
Okay.
So I have a couple of things coming up and I'm very excited, but I don't have the green light
Yeah.
to talk about them yet. So there are more things coming.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that
Yeah.
means we'll just have to have you back and find out about those later.
Yeah.
Um. All right. Well, the last question I usually have, and
Mhm.
I've modified it because it can be hard.
Mhm.
So the questions are: do you have a favorite movie, or can you give me three desert island movies? Movies that you would only have on in a desert island scenario. What three movies would you want? Or do you have a favorite movie?
I do have a favorite movie, and it hasn't changed since I was 1 years old.
Okay.
And it is The Mummy from 1999.
Oh yes.
Yes, directed by Stephen Sommers with Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz, Oded
Yeah.
Fehr. I know all the facts. Arnold Vosloo. I love Brendan Fraser was my childhood crush, and you know what? I got a
Yeah.
lookalike, so I'm very
Nice.
happy about it.
Yeah. We
Yeah,
we used to watch that all the time. Yeah.
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 That movie, I remember my mom, when I was a kid, uh, like I came out like just a couple years before I was born,
Yeah.
but so they were watching that, but I didn't want to watch any other movie. I only wanted to watch The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. But
Yeah.
The Mummy is number one, right? So I love that movie. I love that movie. It's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you so you know all the stories. So you've heard obviously about him and the hanging scene, like how he I think he
He
actually passed out or
Yeah. Like
very close.
that scene was actually real, and he could have actually broken his neck.
Yeah,
Like, so much respect, but that's terrifying.
yeah,
That's terrifying. Like, you could actually die
right, yeah,
on the filming of that scene.
yeah. And then he would become a mummy, and then it would go full circle. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's no, yeah, we really enjoyed that movie. My stepbrother and I as well. So that's a good pick.
Yeah.
That's a very
Favorite
good pick.
movie. It would probably be the only movie that I would watch on the desert island. I watch it religiously every year, like multiple times a year. No shame. No shame. I
Yeah,
love that movie.
yeah. It is probably the best interpretation of like the classic Universal monsters. There are
Yeah.
a lot of and it's one of the least adapted. It feels like there are a lot of Frankenstein's, there are a lot of werewolves,
Yeah.
um, but not a lot of mummies. They tried to redo it with Tom Cruise. That didn't. It was a fine movie, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, yeah. I watched that when it in theaters, and I was like, yeah, it's different. It's different,
Yeah,
but Steven Sommers nailed it. Nailed
yeah,
it. So good.
very cool. Well, is there anything? And obviously, plug Tiny Hat Man again. Let the folks know where to hear it. And also, is there anything else you want to plug? Anything we forgot?
No, that's it. I'll have more stuff to plug in the next couple months, so I'll be back.
Perfect. Where can people find you? Where can they follow what you're doing?
Yes, you can follow me on Instagram at Isabella Espenilla. And then yeah, that's basically it for my news outlet. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for agreeing to come on. It was fantastic to talk to you.
Thank you. It was so much fun.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
CineMAINEia is hosted and produced by Derek Brown, Mike Pritchard, and Nick Costigan. Editing and sound design by Bud and Bird Media. Email us at mainefilmpod@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at CineMAINEia.
All right. Well, see you later.